and the first thing out of his mouth, the reporter's mouth, is, "Dr. Oliver, would you agree that this is really going to be the most sensational scientific expose in history?" I thought he was kidding, so I said, "Whatever the heck it says," I said. "It was a joke. Am I the kind of person who would go around saying things like, 'No siree, Bob,' under conditions of anything but extreme stress or ill-considered jocularity?" "Uh-huh," Julie said. "And how was he supposed to know it was a joke? From the twinkle in your eye? It was a phone conversation." "From my tone. From my manner. It should have been obvious. It was obvious. Besides, that was just the start. We talked for another 10 minutes. I told him in all seriousness that Lester had a tendency to exaggerate, and that it was true that while I was down there at the conference, I might or might not do a little research on the Atlantis myth for the next edition of Bones to Pick, but that I had no earth-shattering expose in mind, and the lecture I'd be giving was actually about something else altogether. Julie scanned the article again. "He seems to have left that part out." "He left it out, all right. I was sandbagged. This is Lester's doing, Julie. As far as he's concerned, any publicity is good publicity. He thinks it'll sell a few more copies of the new edition, even though it won't be out for 8 months. I haven't even finished the damn thing." Julie put down her muffin and the knife. "Gideon, sweetheart, don't take this as a criticism, but maybe you ought to think twice about joking with reporters. Remember that story that showed up everywhere that had you predicting that in 10,000 years human beings would be 4 feet tall, or was it 3 feet?" "It was 4 feet," he grumbled, "and 10 million years. But you know that wasn't what I really said. I said we could be 4 feet tall, or 7 feet tall, or extinct, for that matter. I was just making the point that you can't take a teleological approach to evolution. That just because we've been getting taller, that doesn't mean we're going to continue to get taller. Selective forces in the environment change, and we, or any other organisms, respond to those forces, not to some long-range design or some supposed future condition. If we... Oh, heck, you know all that. Anyway, the woman I talked to had no sense of humor at all." He shook his head in frustration. "Everything I say, these people take literally." "Which is my point." Gideon shrugged and nodded. "You're right," he said, returning with only slightly diminished appetite to his cream cheese, chives, and egg bagel, a specialty of the Port Angeles Olympic Bagel Company, where they breakfasted once or twice a week. "But this guy was an Associated Press reporter," he suddenly blurted. "You'd think I could trust him." "Look again," Julie said, turning the paper around so he could read the byline. "Mike Fender," Gideon read aloud. "Affiliated Press." He looked up. "What the heck is Affiliated Press?" "I'm not sure," Julie said. "But on a guess, I'd say it's the agency that supplies the checkout magazines with all those snazzy news items. Monkey woman gives birth to twin lobsters. Talking gorilla with IQ of 250 seeks significant relationship with large woman. Noted anthropologist stands scientific world on its head," Gideon said, smiling at last. "Oh boy, I'm going to take a lot of flack about this. I guess I'd just better resign myself." "I'm afraid so. So this talk you'll be giving in Gibraltar, it's open to the public? Not part of the society meetings?" "Right. I'm not giving a paper at the meetings. But apparently there's a very active cultural association down there, and they hold these monthly noontime heritage lectures on everything under the sun. So they've asked me if I'd be willing to do the June one, something that would be interesting to the general public." "Why you, do you think?" "Probably because I'm the only one they've ever heard of. The skeleton detective, you know. But it's fine. I'm glad to do it. It sounds like fun, actually. They hold them in some place called St. Michael's Cave, which I gather has a natural underground amphitheater they use for this kind of thing, and for concerts and such." His cell phone lying on the table.